Aloha, this is lesson 348 from A Course in Miracles with Hope Johnson. I have no cause for anger or for fear, for you surround me, and in every need that I perceive, your grace suffices me. Father, let me remember you are here, and I am not alone. Surrounding me is everlasting love. I have no cause for anything except the perfect peace and joy I share with you. What need have I for anger or for fear? Surrounding me is perfect safety. Can I be afraid when your eternal promise goes with me? Surrounding me is perfect sinlessness. What can I fear when you created me in holiness as perfect as your own? God's grace suffices us in everything that He would have us do, and only that we choose to be our will as well as His. And that concludes the text. Lesson 348. I have no cause for anger or for fear, for you surround me, and in every need that I perceive, your grace suffices me. Surrounded by love. It says, Father, let me remember you are here, and I am not alone. This lesson is to help restore awareness that separation never happened. I am not alone. You live within the presence of love. There's no other place to live. It's just a matter of remembering that you still live within that presence. You're not living in the world. You're not held by the world. You're held by God as always, who you are. Safety is not a condition to be achieved in the world. A lot of people think that money would be the safety. Like if you get a certain amount of money, then you can go, now I feel safe. I can get what I need. But that's just an illusion that you're going to feel that safety. There's always going to be fear of losing it, someone stealing it, anything like that. It's really once you remember the truth that you're held in perfect safety always, circumstances don't matter anymore. It also says, what need have I for anger or for fear? These things have no cause in reality. Fear and anger can only arise from the thought that you're unprotected, unsupported, unloved, not whole. It's an effect of believing in separation. But when you recall or remember that divine love surrounds and fills you, every feeling based on the emotion of fear, based on separation, becomes impossible. They're not wrong. It's not because they're wrong. They're just unnecessary when you remember that you're surrounded by divine love. It refers to grace as our sufficiency twice in there. It says, in every need that I perceive, your grace suffices me. This grace, the grace of God, says your grace, that's God's grace that you allow is the answer to every question you can possibly ask and every problem that you seem to have. It doesn't remove your circumstances that you made, but it transforms the way you see your circumstances. And your needs and problems and questions, they dissolve when you recognize that grace has already met these things. Grace takes care of every need that you perceive. Willingness to accept it first is what lets you see it. Safety doesn't come from putting up defenses or walls or locking doors. Those are all just symbolic. Safety only comes from sinlessness, innocence, recognizing your innocence. Perfect sinlessness. When you know yourself that way, as perfect sinlessness, perfectly sinless, perfectly loving, nothing can appear to threaten you. Those appearances are based on misbelief. There is no outside world. So when you accept your holiness, of course, that affects the apparent outside world because it's a reflection of your mind. One part says, and only that we choose to be our will as well as His. That's God's grace sufficing us in everything that He would have us do. We only want to do what God wills us to do, anyways. Right? And that's our will. That's our true will. Only that we choose to be our will as well as His. To choose with God is to find the deepest rest imaginable. And to choose with God is really just to recognize that God's grace is taking care of all things. There's nothing in the world for any of us to do except God's will, which is in the moment. God's will is what? Extending love. It might come in the form of forgiveness because there's an idea that something is preventing us from extending love. So we need to resolve that illusion with forgiveness. Basically, recognize that what we thought happened didn't happen. Peace arises as soon as we stop striving to solve worldly problems alone and simply align with what is and let grace take care of everything. See that? We're surrounded by love because grace is meeting our every need. All of our needs are already met. It's a matter of seeing this, really, recognizing it. So you might take 3 to 5 minutes or more in the morning, beginning the day with the awareness that you're held in love, perfect love. Picture that. Notice how it feels when you turn your mind toward this idea that you're held in love and that God's grace suffices you. Let this be your atmosphere. Let this be your atmosphere before you start looking at what the world demands of you today, what the world supposedly demands of you today. You could look at everything with these eyes, with this recognition that it's all done, it's all cared for. There's nothing for you to do. Whenever you notice fear or any kind of irritation or frustration arise, notice that nothing is lacking right now because grace suffices you. Feel that. Notice the contraction of the irritation release. You know, when you hold a sense of irritation or any kind of contraction or any kind of resistance in mind, you just, to hold that is basically just to feel the feeling. And then notice that contracted feeling, that resistant feeling, release when you remember that God's grace suffices you. Let's bring this back in. God's grace suffices me. Wait a minute. What am I fearful or irritated about? Those things don't really have any cause. The only thing that truly has a cause is my joy and happiness and peace. And at the day's end, you might see if you can recall a few moments, 2, 3 moments when grace appeared. A sense of ease. That's the grace of God. A sense of ease, a moment of calm amid chaos. Notice that God's grace met you there and you were surrounded all day long. God's grace always meets you when you consent to it. Let this recognition fill your awareness and rest in this, realizing that this is always available to you. The grace of God is always available to you. Anger and fear are basically signals of forgetfulness. They're not proof that something's wrong or proof of any danger. These feelings of anger and fear dissolve when you remember you're surrounded by love. When you notice it, this grace is the constant hum in the background, constantly present beneath everything that we made up. It's like a current beneath all the movement. It's like a gentle current. You can always sink into that. Feel it. You only need to pause and recall that you have no cause for anger or fear because God's grace suffices you in all things. And in that remembrance, your mind can settle into the only true safety that there is. When you know this safety, and this is helping you come into this knowing, and you know this safety, you know that you can always go back to it. Because it's just a matter of seeing past blocks to it. And all blocks are just unforgiveness. They're based on falsehoods. So, twice today and every hour, and whenever you have need for it, I have no cause for anger or for fear, for you surround me, and in every need that I perceive, your grace suffices me. Yea, have a beautiful remembrance. I love you.